So I'm just going to go through equations, and I'm just going to go through solving equations, and that's what we're kind of going to be doing in this particular topic. So solving equations, we want to solve. And when we solve for something, we're trying to find out an unknown. Okay, so usually when we want to solve problems, it's something that we don't know anything about. Okay, so for example, if I said x plus 3 equals to 9, I want to find out what this x is. And what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to move this 3 to the other side. You're going to think that x is like the king, and everything on this side is the enemy to the king. So in other words, this plus 3 is an enemy to the king. We've got to do the opposite, right? So the opposite of plus 3 is going to be minus 3. So minus 3, x is equal to 6. Okay, so that's a basic question right there regarding solving equations and finding the unknown. So we're going to call that the king, okay? And it's wearing a crown, and these are all the enemies. Okay, and essentially we want to move the enemy to the other side. Okay, and to move it to the other side, we have to do the opposite. Okay, so the opposite of plus 3 is minus 3. All right, so that's a basic example. I'm going to go through another example right now, which is slightly difficult. Okay, so I'm just going to go step by step. So say, for example, if I said 2x is equal to 6, the king who's here, the enemy is the 2. Okay, we need to move the 2 to the other side. And how do we do that? We know the 2 is times in by the x. So now we have to divide by 2 on both sides. X is equal to 3. Okay, so that's a different example. Okay, let's go with another slightly more harder question. 2x plus 3 is equal to 9. Okay, so who is closest to this x? Okay, so let's say this is the guard that is next to the king. Okay, so that's the guard next to the king. And this is the guard, this is another guard who's outside the house. Okay, or outside the castle. Okay, so in order for us to get rid of his enemies, first we're going to meet the enemy who's outside. Okay, so the enemy who is outside, which is a 3. How do we get rid of them? You've got to do the opposite operation, which is plus 3. So we're going to do the opposite, which is minus 3. Minus 3. Now you are left with 2x is equal to 6. Where did the 3 go? 3, take away 3, 0. Who is next to the king? It's the guard, who is 2. Now we can get rid of the guard by dividing by 2, left with x is equal to 3. So, going through this example is slightly different. The x is the king. We want the king by himself. Okay. The guard is closely next to him. The other enemy is on the outside of the castle. Okay. So, we have to get through to this enemy first. Okay. Then we're going to remove it by doing the opposite operation. The opposite operation is of plus is minus. So now we got rid of it. Now you're left with 2x is equal to 6. And then we get rid of this guard, which is the 2, by dividing it on both sides. And that's going to leave us with x is equal to 3. So yeah, I'm just going to pause there. I'm going to give you a slightly harder question after this.